Another big story here, from global basketball star to owning a share of one of baseball's iconic franchises. LeBron James has become a partner in the Fenway Sports Group, making him a part owner of the Boston Red Sox.
Crazy.
ESPN has confirmed. Okay, he's a noted Yankee fan. The news was first reported by the Boston Globe. The deal is contingent on Major League Baseball approving. Now, LeBron and Maverick Carter join a group that holds ownership stakes not only in the Red Sox, but also Liverpool, the football club across the pond, the defending Premier League champs, as well as partial stakes in NASCAR, Team Roush Fenway Racing, and Nesson. You know that network.
I do.
And the group was formed, by the way, 20 years ago.
Yeah. They got their hands a little bit of everything. So does Brian Windhorst, who joins us now. I mean, you've known Bron since he was literally a kid from Akron. Big picture, what's the significance of him buying into the Red Sox?
Yeah, El, this is a step in LeBron's direction to being the front man for professional sports ownership. Now, he has been in business with Fenway Sports Group for a decade now. He's owned 2% of Liverpool since 2011. And in that last decade, he has been focusing his off-court efforts for when he is after his career and he can go ahead and buy a team. Now, in today's day and age, when NBA teams are over $2 billion and many other professional sports teams are worth over $1 billion, you're going to need partners, even with all the money LeBron has made. Being a part of Fenway Sports Group, which now has over $7 billion in holdings, gives them the opportunity to potentially use these investors someday to buy a team, whether it's an NBA team, an MLS team, a baseball team, a football team. But he's one step closer with this deal.
His basketball acumen only rivaled by his business acumen. Wendy's back with us in a little bit. We're going to talk a little Knicks potentially out there looking for a trade on the market. Wendy, thanks.
The Nets, they beat the Knicks. James Harden, how about this? Become the first Nets player with a 20-point, 15-rebound, 15-assist triple-double in franchise history. Of course, the controversy at the end, Julius Randle called for a travel, going up for a three to tie the game in the final seconds. He was not pleased. You see his reaction. So after expressing his disappointment in the team's recent struggles, Kawhi Leonard sent a message as the Clippers beat Luka and the Mavericks. Kawhi played a season-high 40 minutes after playing the previous night against the Pelicans. Clippers improved to 7-0 in the second night of back-to-backs. And we wrap things up here. The Lakers blowing out the Warriors by 31. LeBron recording his 98th career triple-double and his 61st after turning 30, tying Wilt Chamberlain for the most in NBA history, according to Elias. Lakers were perfect on 25 shot attempts in the restricted area. Steph Curry's Warriors were far from perfect in the blowout loss.
We got to play better. We have to develop a winning attitude every single night. And honestly, we got to get sick of, just getting blown out, because that's embarrassing. I think we have to have some pride about how we're playing. You can lose games. That's going to happen, but not like that.
NBA insider Brian Windhorst joining us now with much more. Wendy, what's the real problem with this Warriors team at this point right now?
This is a tale as old as the NBA itself, Kevin. It's a team that's stuck in between competing with some veteran stars and switching over and playing young players. And that's what the Warriors are doing right now. They're playing lineups sometimes with 3 and 4 guys who are second year or younger. James Wiseman last night, for example, was minus 25 in the plus-minus. Jordan Poole, another one of their young guys, was like minus 19. Nico Mannion, minus 18. Look, they're not going to be like that every night. But if Steve Kerr and the Warriors organization is going to play those young guys, they're going to have nights like this. And this is why this season, even getting into the playoffs would be a huge accomplishment, even into the play-in tournament for this team.
Yeah, it shows you how much they miss the veteran leadership there with Klay Thompson joining Steph in the backcourt. So at 20-20, the Warriors are one game out of the playoff standings in the West. Now the Knicks, they have the same record, and they currently sit in the 7th spot in the East. How aggressive are they expected to be in terms of making additions to their roster here?
I never believed I would have said this in October, but they are buyers. They have 3 picks in the upcoming draft, 2 first-round picks, and the Detroit Pistons second-round pick, which is going to be at the top of the second round. They're interested in potentially using one of those to bring in a player. But if they don't do something at the trade deadline, doesn't mean they're done, Kevin. They've got $15 million in salary cap space. And executives that I've talked to think that the Knicks could make a bid for some of these guys who might get bought out, a guy like Andre Drummond, a guy like LaMarcus Aldridge. Not only could they outbid other teams, but they could potentially offer a multi-year deal to win out to try to add another piece, especially a guy who can score. They need scoring right now on this roster. So just because they don't make a trade doesn't mean the Knicks aren't going to be very aggressive next week.
Tibbs is no doubt the coach of the year. By the way, the trade deadline less than 10 days away on March 25th. Wendy, thank you so much. The Knicks face the Sixers in Philly tonight.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.